It was during the 2019 MLS All-Star Game in Orlando, a night filled with excitement, music, and celebrity appearances. Among the thousands in attendance was a 12-year-old boy named Daniel Ortega, a lifelong football fan who had won a contest to meet some of the players before the match. Daniel suffered from a rare heart condition that required frequent hospital visits, but whenever he watched football, he forgot his pain, even if only for a few hours. That night, however, fate intervened in ways no one expected. As the pre-game festivities continued, Daniel suddenly collapsed near the stadium entrance. His heart rate spiked dangerously, and he lost consciousness. Panic spread among his family and nearby fans. Security rushed over, but within seconds, another figure appeared, calm, focused, and ready to act. It was David Beckham. Though he was already preparing for his own appearance on the field, Beckham noticed the commotion and immediately stepped forward. He knelt beside Daniel, checked his breathing, and instructed bystanders to call emergency services. While waiting for paramedics, he stayed with the boy, keeping him stable and making sure he wasn't left alone. When medical staff arrived, Beckham didn't leave. He waited until Daniel was safely loaded into the ambulance before returning to the locker room. Later, he called the hospital to check on the boy's condition and arranged for a personal visit once Daniel was well enough. During that visit, Beckham brought signed memorabilia, tickets to future matches, and most importantly, encouragement. He spoke to Daniel not as a celebrity, but as someone who understood the power of perseverance. Though they came from different worlds, the connection was real. Over the following months, Beckham quietly supported Daniel's recovery. He covered part of the boy's medical expenses through his charitable foundation and invited him to several private training sessions to keep his spirits high. These moments became a source of strength for Daniel, who later said, "There was a time I thought I'd never play football again. Then David Beckham showed me that I still had a game to finish." Daniel eventually returned to the field, joining a local team and becoming a vocal advocate for health awareness among young athletes. He frequently spoke at schools and hospitals, sharing his experience and encouraging others to seek help early if they experienced unusual symptoms. For Beckham, these moments were not about publicity, they were about presence. He had grown up in a working-class family in Leytonstone, London, where he learned early that success means nothing without compassion. Over the years, he had quietly helped dozens of families facing similar challenges, visiting hospitals, supporting children's charities, and using his influence to open doors that might otherwise remain closed. This side of Beckham rarely made headlines. It didn't appear in match highlights or magazine covers. But for families like Danielle's, it defined who he truly was, not just a legend of the sport, but a man who used his platform to make a difference. And for Daniel, the memory of that night and the hand that reached out when he needed it most became a turning point in his life. Football may have been the reason he loved the game, but it was David Beckham who reminded him why life was worth fighting for.